how many games they win by, or how many games they win?
How many games they win?
I would say they're 12-4. Because this is the crazy thing. Think about this. They were fairly dominant last year. They had a lot of injury problems with their offensive line. So there's a chance their offensive line is healthier this year. They had some problems with their skill position players being injured. They're healthier there. That was the first year back for Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to be better this year than he was last year. So you could make a good case that maybe the record, saying they're 12-4, that's actually being too conservative.
Last year, 13-3. Seahawks 11-5. Rams 9-7. And Lugs, you're saying the Cardinals are going to move up from 5-10 to what?
I'd say they'll win 8 games at least, maybe 10. I haven't seen their schedule though, but I think they're good enough to do that.
That's going to be a bottleneck at the top of that division if that's the case.
So do you all see any wild cards coming out of this?
Well, if you're going to win 10 games, I think you got a shot.
Maybe Seattle. I would say San Francisco gets it outright, and maybe Seattle.
See, I'm going with the Rams. They were 9-7 last year, and they had so many problems with their offensive line last year. And also, as much as I love Todd Gurley, I just don't think he was the same. I think they bring in some Cam Akers, the running back from Florida State, who is exceptional. I think he adds a spark to the backfield. And I think, like I said, in the last few games of the season, they found their new formula to give them success. Goff played better at the very end of the season. They kind of unlocked the tight ends. So I think they'll improve on 9-7. They'll get to like 10-6, and they'll be the only ones. I have Seattle dropping out just because as good as Jamal Adams is, who they traded for at safety, I look at their pass rush in terms of their D-line. Their D-line is I don't know. For teams to make the playoffs, I usually look for like 2 special players on the defensive line. They have none. So,
and in a nutshell, they're just going to beat each other up. Though,
yeah.
Within the division, right? All the teams, if they're all kind of pretty good, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah, and I do agree with Lugs. I do think there's a chance Arizona finishes 8-8, 9-7. I think they'll be a lot better. So,
all right. Well, that's the NFC West. So let's talk about the Washington Football Club. That's the new name. Copyright it, trademark, put it on a plate, serve it up hot. Thoughts?
Could you have picked? I mean, that doesn't even register. I mean, it doesn't.
I feel like I'm watching the English Premier League or something. But they're going to play down here at Lynn Family Stadium, the WFC.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you all, do you all think it's possibly, well, 2 things, 2-pronged. This is 2-pronged. One, as long as, I mean, this name has been debated for at least 50 years, and it's only intensified as decades go by.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not have like a backup copyright? So you can, because you're going to have to make this switch, and they totally burned themselves on this. Number 2, if you remember, like in the last few years, certain people would refuse to say the name, so they would call them Washington Football Team. So it's like they were being prophetic.
You think they'll come?
Change to it.
It's generic. It'll be black and white, and they'll just have a box with the W on it, and W, and that'll be it. It'll be like the old generic products in the grocery store, Billy Beer or something.
So what becomes the mascot that I see on the sideline?
Oh, man.
It'll just be a guy who's dressed like a football player, right? Like maybe he'll have like a large peanut size, Charles Schultz peanut size head.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Right?
Hey, I'm good with that.
I think they should go get that. You ever seen the Wichita State Shocker? That like flying bale of wheat? And it looks like he could catch fire at any moment. And he's got that goofy face. He kind of makes Big Red look good. And I think they should just go get that guy. It's already got a W on it. Just borrow him. The Shocker.
You do bring up a great point. The best mascots in all of sports are when you take something that is mundane or modest and try to make it look ferocious.
Right.
There's nothing better. Like, hey, this wheat, it will mess you up. If you see it on the street, you're getting on the other side. You're walking across traffic.
Don't mess with our wheat, man.
That's right. It's still cut.
You know, killing everybody with gluten problems. Yeah, right.
We got gluten. Yes, we do. We got gluten. How about you? All right. Zimmer at the Vikings got a new contract extension. And yes, he's a friend of the show. So what do we think about Mr. Zimmer and his new contract as head coach of the Minnesota Vikings?
Did Bud Grant sign off on this? Because if Bud didn't, I can't be for it.
Now, Bud's not a friend of the show. He's just cranky, so we don't know.
Yeah. I just wanted to give him a shout out. Not that we have to stay at it long. This man has been through so much. I know he's lost his wife. He's had, I think, like 8 eye surgeries.
Mike Zimmer.
He had a promising young quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater who had, to be fair also to Teddy Bridgewater, lucky he's bounced back, but he had such a freakish injury that could have derailed, obviously, his career, but also Zimmer's career. And for him to keep this team on pace to stay in contention almost year after year is really a remarkable and a tribute to him. So,
yeah. And I would have to say, he has to overcome Kirk Cousins as far as I'm concerned.
And that's just one acknowledgement of Kirk Cousins in this broadcast.
Before we get away from the NFL, 6 Patriot players aren't going to play this year because of COVID. 4 of them are starters. That's kind of a big hole to fill, even for the hoodie. But I'm sure he's got plans. But I was just thinking, wow.
The opt-out clause is working, huh?
Yeah.
They're starting fullback Marcus Cannon, and who's the other one? I didn't see.
It's offensive line, and Patrick Chung.
Patrick Chung. Marcus Cannon is the offensive lineman, and then Vitale, their fullback.
Yeah.
So, do you all think just maybe they're like, you know what? If we could have 1 year being paid away from Belichick, we could, let's just take it.
Yeah.
Hey. That's like heaven, isn't it? Not to have to look at that guy.
Can you imagine? They're sitting around, so, dude, you mean I don't have to play ball? I can go sit at home and get paid? Yeah, man. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, I don't have to get my knees torn up. Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a year off this show and see if I get paid.
Well,
at least I don't know about the other situations. I think Vitale, he and his wife just had a kid, and I know with Cannon, he's had he's had cancer before, so I think that's the reason he bowed out. Now Patrick Chung, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
I didn't hear the reason.
How about some wild ass predictions? Anything this week?
Yeah, I guess we can go with something wild. I don't think the NBA will complete anything, honestly, in the bubble.
The bubble will burst?
I do.
What do you mean, no games at all?
I think they'll start, and then I think just that confined quarters, and I don't know. I just think they're going to get more positive tests and have to slow it down. But again, their ratings for their just scrimmages were good. So, I mean, people will watch if there's a product out there.
I'm saying baseball will not succeed. I think they'll have to pull the plug. If you missed 5 or 10 games, how are you ever going to? You can't make them up. You can't win games. You can't get in the playoffs. You can't. It's a crazy thing. They waited too long. We know that.
Yeah, they did wait too long.
Yeah.
My wild ass prediction is after seeing Cliff Kingsbury's pad that Kyle Shanahan, since he's the king of the roost right now, He's gonna buy. What's that street where it swerves back and forth in San Francisco?
Lombard Street. Lombard Street.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna buy all those houses. He's gonna buy all. He's gonna spend all of them. He's gonna spend all his money. He's gonna buy all those houses.
Kyle Shanahan, Lombard Street.
That's right.
All right. I think there's been a request on the phone line here for a haiku. We just got a text in on the text line.
Hey.
25 minutes past the hour.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you've got one handy, you can do it.
Luckily, I actually have one handy. And actually, it's on theme for the NFC West. Russell Wilson. Top tier pig slinger. Coach Carroll holding him down. Roar out. Let Russ cook.
Whoa.
I love the part about Coach Carroll holding him down. Wow.
I think he is.
That could be.
Well, got a little bit of this day in sports.
All right. Hey, I got a theme song for that. Might as well use it, you know. Here's Lux. He's got some news of yesteryear. Okay, take it away. Yes.
1952, Rogers Hornsby replaces Luke Sewell as Cincinnati Reds manager. 1956, Tour de France won by Roger Walkowiak of France. And let's move on.
Did he design the walk-up window, Walkowiak? Did he maybe? Yeah.
And this will top everything. 1977, legendary England cricket all-rounder Ian Botham takes 5 for 74 in Australian first innings in his 7-wicket third test win at Trent Bridge. There you have it, friends. And before we go...
Yeah? Go ahead.
Go ahead with that theme.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a first cricket reference on this program. It's been just a banner day here.
Yeah, we've heard crickets before, really. But
well, yeah, we've heard cricket. Well, what do you mean, before, really? How about all the time? Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
I just want to say, happy birthday, Bugs Bunny. He's 80 years old. He debuted. You know, the Wascoey Wabbit.
You go Bugs, really? How many? 80?
And he's 80. 1940, he debuted in Wild Hare, which actually was nominated for an Oscar, and it debuted also Elmer Fudd. And so anyway, and gave Mel Blanc a career.
Indeed. And we must note the passing of Regis Philbin, Guinness World Record holder for the most hours. He's the guy that's been on TV the most in the world. That's got to be worth something.
He always had just that little bit of an edge that could go cranky on you in an instant, I think, that made him watchable. I like a little cranky Irishman, you know. So
I was hoping for a little warm and fuzzier eulogy than that.
I like the read.
Yeah.
I was going to say, obviously he had a very interesting background. I think he was a sociology major, somehow stumbled into being a broadcaster, actually working in the news division, then worked for Joey Bishop, then, got into talk shows. So, he just had one of those unique careers where that you don't go to college and decide that trajectory. So,
but did he ever do a podcast?
I don't know.
I don't think he did.
But at least he's not selling fish oil like Larry King.
Sports and Other Stuff is sponsored in part by Rudy's Furniture Mart. After decades of selling quality furniture and bedding, Rudy's must liquidate to the bare walls. Everything must go, from the rugs on the floor to the pictures on the wall. At Rudy's, we know, say no. Stop in and ask for
fish, and careful of the splinters because some of the cushions have slid off the chairs.
Okay, we are the Sport Weasels. First in sound, first in service, and first so long, Regis. Till next time.